Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm Blake Schwank with Colorado Computer Support. So let's look real quick at what actually happened a little bit and where Rackspace currently is. It is currently 4:14 on Mountain Time, and the last known update that we have is, I'm going to pop over to this. And Curtis, can you tell me, can you see my screen there?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, so this is the last update that we have from Rackspace, 1:28 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is, what time is that? That's 11:30 Mountain Time. That is yesterday, and that's Sunday, 11:30 Mountain Time Sunday, and it is right now after 4 o'clock on Monday. Completely crazy that people's email has been down. But if you go to their status page, just scroll down, and they have some documentations on how to move your email from 365 or from Rackspace over to their version of 365. So I don't want to do that. If it was me, I would move it completely away from Rackspace, move it to Microsoft. Microsoft has been doing this for a long time. I prefer Microsoft, so I would recommend that if your email is down right now at Rackspace, you follow our instructions, move it over to Microsoft 365. So before we get into the technology of how you do it, because you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, I'm not an IT engineer, I'm not a network engineer, and this is scary. Well, it is fairly complex. However, you can make it through it, the basic setup. You're not going to be able to do a lot of the back-end stuff, a lot of the configuration to like your line of business apps. You're not going to be able to export an email, import all your email from Rackspace, but you can get the basic mail flow set up for a company of 5 or 10 employees. Microsoft has set it up that you are capable of doing that. So let's look at what email is, or how email gets from point A to point B. So SendGrid did this great little video here of how email flows from one site to another. And let me see if I can blow this up a little bit. That did not work well. But the way that email flows is it goes from the sender on the left-hand side of this. Can you see this, Curtis? The SendGrid. So from one side to the other. So the sender sends you email, and it talks to your email server. So whether that's Microsoft or Rackspace or Google or Yahoo, it sends it out to that mail server. That mail server, if I'm sending Curtis an email that is for his, and he's over at coloradosupport.com, I'm going to send the email out to Curtis at coloradosupport.com. My email server is going to go query something called DNS. A DNS server is like the phone book of the internet. It stores all of the addresses. So when you type in www.google.com, it translates that to a number out on the internet. And so that's what that is. It comes back, tells the mail server, my mail server, or Curtis's mail server is. My mail server talks to Curtis's email server over the internet, dumps the mail in there, and there it's ready for Curtis. And the same thing happens in reverse. Now, the way that it's set up, remember we talked about we're putting a Band-Aid on it. This is the most basic thing. When you get into setting it up properly, there's a couple other things that fit in here. There's hosted email security. That keeps the bad guys out. And there is hosted email backup, so that when you have a disaster and you lose all your email like Rackspace, we can actually go back and recover things for you. But that's not pictured here. This is the basic email flow. This will get you back in business so you can start doing your business. So that's the way it works. Did I catch everything there, Curtis, do you think?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. So what we're going to go through now is setting up a new email account. And so we're going to pretend that I've got I do have a domain. So I have a domain called tuesdaytechtip.net, okay? Right now, all that does is it points to our YouTube page. So if you want to learn a lot of things, Curtis is on there every Tuesday. I'm on there every Saturday talking Cyber Saturday. Curtis has Tuesday Tech Tips. Go to tuesdaytechtip.net. It'll take you to our YouTube page. and you can see the different, more training, more things like this, okay? But we want to take TuesdayTechTip.net. Let's say we had Blake at TuesdayTechTip.net over at Rackspace. We want to move that now over to Microsoft 365. We're going to go through the steps to do that. So I start with going to Microsoft.com, or I'm sorry, we go to Office.com. So I go to Office.com. I'm currently logged in. Now, I would suggest you go into incognito mode. Incognito mode means that it doesn't save your cookies and stuff like that from other sessions. Okay, so I'm going to close that. And I may have to close all the way out of my browser, but we're going to try it again. Office.com. Okay, and it says, do I want to sign in as Blake? No, I want to switch to a different account. Okay. And actually, I'm going to forget this account down here. All right. So now I'm going to click on Get Microsoft 365. This is step one. And if I go over here and I click on For Business, it's going to bring me to all these choices. It seems overwhelming. What do you need? Which of these apps you need? What do you need? A local copy, whatever. Right now, it doesn't matter. Right now, we're trying to get you just up and running. Keep your business going. Go with the basic one. The basic one will give you Outlook on the web. It will give you Word on the web and Excel, all the tools that you can access on the web. So we want to choose the $6 a user per month plan, Microsoft Business Basic. And then it's going to ask me what my name is or my email address is. So I want to use the email address that I had at Rackspace. And, for me, I'm pretending that mine was at Rackspace, but I'm going to put it in there. So my email address, I'm going to say was Blake at TuesdayTech.net. Okay. And so that's the domain that I own, that I'm able to get into register.com or wherever my registrar is. And I'm going to hit next. And it says I need to create a new account. So I'm going to go set up the account. If you type it in wrong, you can change your email, but we want to set up the account. And then it's going to ask me for my information. So I'm going to leave my company name at Colorado Computer Support because that's who Tuesday Tech Tip is under. I'm going to say I'm 10 to 24 people because that's actually, we're bigger than that. So I'm going to say 25 to 49. I'm not sure it matters except for what Microsoft tries to track. And then I'm going to hit next. So, and this is what I'm getting. So I'm getting Outlook down here on the bottom right, which is the key part of email. I need that Outlook, okay? All right, then it's going to text me a verification code. Okay, so why did it do, okay. So so here I can put in my domain name, which is Tuesday Tech Tip without the .net, okay? I'm going to change the username to Blake, because that's what I want my username to be. And then I'm going to go make some difficult password. It has to be over 8 characters, and it has to have some special characters in it. At this point, I'll save it in LastPass, somewhere where I can remember what it is in 30 minutes when I'm stressed out and things aren't working and I'm trying to troubleshoot it. So I'm going to put it into here, and I'm going to save it in something like Notepad for the short term. But there's my password. I can confirm that they're both the same. My username is going to be Blake at TuesdayTechTip.onmicrosoft.com. It's important to realize that until you have your domain fully set up, your domain is .onmicrosoft.com. So, and I hit save, and it's going to confirm that nobody else has TuesdayTechTip.onmicrosoft.com. And I can take and save that information into my notepad also, so that when I come back to this in a few minutes, it's not, I remember what in the world it is. All right. So now we hit next on that. And the nice thing too about Microsoft, seems like they're a bit more responsive than Rackspace. If you've noticed, it keeps popping up this thing asking if I want support, and so they're out there watching out for us. Yeah.
$4.10 a share.
Ouch, ouch. Yeah, we were just sorry about that momentary break. I had to get power. We're just talking Rackspace's stock has plummeted today. It's a bad day for them. So back to getting signed up for Microsoft Office Basic. So I'm going to come in here. I am going to sign up for one user right now, and I'm going to add that payment method. And I'm going to have to go find my credit card here. Stand by. And oh, Curtis, I'm gonna stop my share for a moment so that not everybody gets to use my credit card right before Thanksgiving.
You mean
I figured
Christmas?
that would be unwise to go and show that right now. And I am getting my password out, or my credit card out of LastPass. If you're not using LastPass or a password manager, that's a huge thing too. And something like this happens, makes it much easier to get your information. Okay, Curtis, can you see my screen again?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so I signed up for monthly. So if you're concerned for committing too long, I just signed up for monthly. One user, I'm going to accept it and place the order. Okay, so this takes us to this page. It might take you automatically to the next setup page, but in this case, it brought me here. And so then what I do is we still need to go and add Curtis. Okay, so at this point, we need to, Microsoft will likely force you to log out of your account. And so we want to log out, close all the windows, open a new browser. We get to this point, and then we sign in with our new domain name. And it's not, in this case, it's not TuesdayTechTip.net. It was Blake at TuesdayTechTip. On Microsoft.com. So we won't get to TuesdayTechTip.net until later in this. Okay. It asked me for my difficult password that I set up when I signed up. So let me copy that. And I'm going to sign in. And no, I do not want to stay signed in. Now this is going to take me through a little welcome. They're glad I'm here. It makes me feel good. And it should take me to the network setup, but it's not. It's going to have me go through a little intro up at the top left. You can read through those or go back to them later. And so now we have our apps over here on the left, but we're still not getting email. We've not set it up for email. We've not connected it to our domain. So we want to go to the admin tab over here on the left. If you don't see the admin tab, then go up to the 3x3 array and you can find it there for admin. So we click on that and it's going to bring us into these tabs. And you can say, I'm new to setting this up, and then it's going to prompt you for more information. So we hit, I'm new to it. Okay. So now we want to set up email and usernames for custom domain. So we want to click on that. and we want to connect a domain you own. So you already own this domain out at Rackspace or wherever. This is at your registrar. Some people have it register.com, cheapnames.com, GoDaddy. What you're looking for is what your registrar is. A lot of times your web designer knows what that is and can help you out through this part. So we don't want to migrate anything because Rackspace is down. There's nothing to migrate. This is what you're going to need the repair surgery on later. We don't want to change usernames for signing in. All we want to do is connect the domain to email. I'm going to click next. So now we're setting up our custom domain. You can watch the video, but otherwise we just down here at the bottom, we hit continue. And it's going to say add a domain. So the domain that we want to add is, in our case, Tuesday Tech Tip. Tech Tips, Curtis? Is it plural?
It's just tech tip.
Tuesday Tech Tip. TuesdayTechTip.net is our domain that we're adding. Okay? And where I bounce to over here, this is Moniker. Moniker is our registrar where we store all of our domain names. Yours might be GoDaddy, might be register.com, might be Network Solutions. There's a million of them, okay? So TuesdayTechTip.net is my domain name. I'm going to hit continue on that. And it's going to tell me I need to verify my ownership, okay? So this is where you need to know what your registrar is. It may tell you up here at the top where it says open a new browser tab and sign into the website of your domain host. We detected your host is other. Okay. Mine is out at moniker.com. You can, if you don't know what it is, call the guy, the people that design your website and ask them what your registrar is. There's other ways to do it if you Google how to find my registrar. But ours is out at Moniker. And so what I need to do for this is, this tells me over here on Microsoft 365, I need to add this thing called a TXT record. And there's some setup instructions here. Bottom line is, I just need to go copy this. Or actually, I need to copy this MS value. The TXT value is really what matters. And I go over here in Moniker, I click on my domain name, and there's a field in the DNS settings. Remember we talked about the DNS settings is like the phone book. This is one of the settings in the phone book, is a TXT record. And I just want to paste that thing right here. And so what Microsoft said to add over here, adding this record, this TXT value, I just copied and pasted it over here into this TXT value. Okay. And now that's saved. And I can see it under here, under TuesdayTechTip.net. It says MS, whatever Microsoft said to throw in there. So now, if we go over here to Microsoft, Microsoft says that it might take some time to, if I go down here and hit verify, Microsoft says it could take time. Now, there's this thing down here, this TTL down here that they list here. That is something in your DNS, your registrar. And if I look over on Tuesday Tech Tip, down here, and I scroll down to the bottom, my TTL, which is the time it basically takes to refresh domain names, is 28,800 seconds, which is a long time. So I'm going to drop that down to 300 seconds. And hopefully it'll refresh it in 5 or 10 minutes. So we're going to take a pause here. And in the meantime, if you want to learn more about what we do, go check out TuesdayTechTip.net. That will take you to our YouTube channel. And you can also find us on LinkedIn and Facebook. Go check out those sites, search for Colorado Computer Support, learn a bit more about what we do and who we are as a company. And we are going to pause for a little bit until we come back and verify that that domain is working. Okay, so we're back to proving ownership. It's been 5 or 10 minutes. We're going to hit try again on this. and see if it has updated a registrar, and it has. Okay, this is great. So now it's asking me to set up my new email address, okay? This is what I'm going to use to sign in instead of be on Microsoft. So my new email address and username will be blake@tuesdaytechtip.net. And it's going to update and sign me out so that we can test it out. So I'm going to update and sign out. Okay, now it says it's a good idea to close my browser window. So I'm going to go ahead and close my 365 accounts. I'm going to go back over here to office.com. Okay, now remember up here to get back to admin, you can either click on admin on the left. If it's not there, click on the 3x3 array. But I'm going to click on admin. And I don't want to be Blake at Tuesday Tech Tip on Microsoft.com. I want to be Blake at Tuesday Tech Tip.net. That's the new email address I have. And it's going to ask me to put my password in. I'm going to sign in. Oh, that password. Try this again. Okay, and I do not want to stay signed in. At least not at this point. So now it's taking us to the point where we're going to set up the DNS records. Remember, DNS records are like the phone book of the internet. An MX record and a CNAME record basically point at certain addresses on the internet. So we're going to start with the MX record, which is the mail exchange record. And I'm going to go over here. It's nice, makes it easy. You can just click on that to copy. Okay. And there's not a whole lot you need to worry about here. You can go with the defaults. A lot of times what's in your registrar, but you might be replacing what's there for Rackspace. So you might need to reach out to your registrar for help. Most registrars have good chat services and are willing to help. But I'm going to copy this. So this is my address that I want to put in for my MX record. And then I'm going to go over to Moniker, which is our registrar. I'm going to click on my Tuesday Tech Tip domain. I'm going to go down to my mail settings, and I'm going to choose a mail exchanger record. And I'm going to put that down here as the priority 0, which is what it said over at Microsoft. And then I'm going to paste in that Tuesday Tech Tip .net.mail.protection.outlook.com. And before I hit save, I'm going to go back over here and look. And that's what it is. Okay, so we're going to scroll down and hit save. And then we're going to go back over here and take a look at the CNAME record it asked you to add. Now, this gets tricky because every different registrars do this differently. So if you can't figure it out and it doesn't work when you do the test and verify, call your registrar, get them on the phone, and ask them. Because if you look at the number of registrars out there, it's limitless. And so, but I'm going to copy this. With Moniker, the way that I do it is I create a subdomain called Auto Discover. And what this does is it tells your email client where to go find its settings, right? The settings for Outlook. And then I'm going to click on CNAME. I'm going to check the CNAME block, and I'm going to hit paste, which puts in autodiscover.outlook.com, which should match up with what Microsoft asked me to do. They wanted autodiscover to point to autodiscover.outlook.com. If I go over here, autodiscover.tuesdaytechtip.net has a CNAME of autodiscover.outlook.com. So that matches what they're asking. And then there's one other thing they asked, to add a TXT record to help prevent spam. And so we added the TXT record before. We're going to add another. I copy this. I go back to Moniker. I click on the same Tuesday Tech Tip we did before. Go down here where we added that original text record. I add another one. paste that in there, hit save. And now this is going to start propagating around the internet. It takes it a little while because, you know, you remember we've got that the 5-minute wait before it starts pushing it out. And so we want to sit here. We're not going to hit check now. If we hit connect mail now, it's going to come back and say that all of these are missing records. Don't panic. It takes time. This has a scary thing up here. It takes 48 hours to, it might take 48 hours. That's not true. It should sync up in 5 or 10 minutes. Okay. How are we doing, Curtis? Have I confused you? Anything I'm missing here?
No, you're taking your time, doing it easy.
Okay. So while we're going to take another break, while we're doing the break, feel free to go check out, you know, our LinkedIn page or our blog post. Check out our website, coloradosupport.com. But we're going to pause this for a little bit while I wait for these to refresh. Okay, so we've given it a few minutes, and welcome back. So now that we've let this sit for a few minutes, what we're going to do is we're going to hit connect mail. It's going to go out and try to check all these settings to make sure they're correct, and we'll move us on. All right, success. So now we hit done on this, and we now have a email account. We have a user, Blake at TuesdayTechTip.net. It's a 365 business basic account. And if we look at our subscriptions, this will take a second. We have one subscription to one license at $6 a month. And so what we want to do is if we add any more people, you know, so some of you might be one-person companies. This is all you need. If you need to add 10 people, you would go to subscriptions, buy more licenses for the right number of people. There's other things on here that, you know, on this page, migrate emails and files and several other things that really, that's going to be the surgery we talked about. Right now, we've stopped the bleeding. And let's show that. We've stopped the bleeding and you're able to run your business. So if we go over here to Outlook, we're going to log in as Blake at TuesdayTechTip.net. Okay. So when it does something like that, it still has another account cached. One of the challenges I run into is I have way too many test email accounts. And so sometimes that's the problem. When I try to log into an account, it's got another test email account memorized. And so we're going to see who we're logged in as here. This is logged in as Blake at TuesdayTechTip.onmicrosoft.com. We don't want that. So we want to sign out. And just to keep things clean, I am going to go ahead and close out of everything in my browser. I'm going to close everything. And, you know, it's just that one account gets sticky sometimes in the browser. So I'm going to go open up just to make sure it's working separate from everything else. I'm going to open up another incognito window. Every browser has some sort of version of it, privacy mode, something like that. And make sure that you don't carry across the cached credentials that you might have from something else or another account opened up. So here's my incognito mode. I'm going to go to office.com and I am going to sign in. Good, it doesn't remember me. So Blake at TuesdayTechTip.net, right? Curtis.net?
Yep.
Sorry, I'm working with too many domains right now. Let me go get my password because it's way too long and obnoxious. I'm going to paste it in from my password manager and sign in. No, I don't want to stay signed in. Okay. Now I'm going to go over to my Outlook account. And I'm going to sign in as Blake at Tuesday Tech Tip. Okay, so after having to log out, we ended up logging back into our email account. So now we have our Outlook account, and it wants to take us on different tours and stuff. But now that this is up and running, we've gone through the full setup. We don't know if it works yet or not. So that's where it comes in handy to have a test email account, whether it's Gmail or Yahoo, or maybe some of you are still on AOL, something like that, or maybe Prodigy or CompuServe for you old people like me. But I keep a Yahoo mail account around so that I can get in here and test what's going on. So you're going to be shocked. It has probably 10,000 emails in it, but I don't use it for anything but for testing things out. And just one. So this is what my email looks like right now. So I can now go over here and I want to test an email to Blake at TuesdayTechTip.net. And I'm going to make the subject something. I'm going to say this is a test to Tech Tips. And I'm going to number it so that I can keep track of it in case I do have errors. So I'm going to call it Tech Tip number 1. And I'm going to send that over. And then over here on my Outlook, I'm going to go, oh, wow, look at that. I just got an email in. Okay, so we know that now the email works inbound. So we want to make sure it works outbound as well. So I'm going to go over here and send an email to bschwank@yahoo.com. Please do not ever email me there. My real address is blake.schwank@coloradosupport.com. If you email me at Yahoo, I'll never get it because I never check it. I'm going to say this is a test to Yahoo number 1. And I'm going to put some content in there so it doesn't get blocked by the spam filter. Hello, Yahoo. And I'm going to send that off. And then I'm going to go check my Yahoo account and see if anything pops in over there. Yahoo, I think it's a little more proactive. You've got to hit refresh or something. And we got nothing yet. So now I can go over here and just double check to make sure I didn't get a bounce. I have no bounce message in here. And maybe it's in spam. And so we may give it a few minutes to show up, but you want to go back and forth to maybe double check the address that you sent it to. So I did send it to bschwank@yahoo.com, which is my correct address. Maybe it ended up in spam. It did. So it did make it in. Now this is when, we were talking about, we're putting a Band-Aid on this. So who knows why? Maybe it's the shortness of the message. But we talked about we're putting on a Band-Aid. We're stopping the bleeding. This is one of the areas where you need the IT guys to come in and start doing discovery on why your email is going to spam, because we can back that out so that it has a less likely chance of going to spam. So now we know the email works both ways. If I go to email, reply back to this, I can say, thanks for the email. And chances are it's going to pop right into my mailbox over here. Okay, and I'm going to go back to my inbox. And in a moment, I should end up seeing something. So there's my test to Yahoo. So now we know I can send email out to Curtis, and he can send it back. I can now do business again. I can now make money. All your email is still stuck over at Rackspace until they get that resolved, whatever they've got going on. And then you can get on an IT company's project list to help you get that moved over, because every IT company is busy. These are big projects to move large amounts of mail from one site to another. So now what do you do? So you got email flow in both spots. Now what you need to do is add your employees. So you go over to admin, and once you're an admin, it's pretty straightforward to just add other employees. You have a subscriptions tab. Every employee that you add needs a subscription. Just get them the $6 a month basic subscription. And then you go over to users. Once you buy the subscriptions, go over to users, click on add user, and just start adding them in. And that's the fastest way to get up and running. That's how you can get up and running by the end of the day. If you have 100 users or if you have 50 users, there are ways to get your IT guys to import a file of users with usernames, passwords, locations, all that stuff. But this is the way to do it. Brute force, get you up by the end of the day, today or tomorrow, while Rackspace tries to figure stuff out. Okay? So if you need help from us, please don't email any one of these addresses. Blake at Tuesday Tech Tips. I'm never going to check it again. I'm going to delete this account because it was a demo account just to walk you guys through the process. But Microsoft has a ton of help. Go to office.com, start doing it. What you want to do is take your business domain, move it to Microsoft 365. Microsoft.com, go to office.com is the address for Office 365. And if you have questions, if you need to talk to someone about this, give us a call. Curtis will get you in the right direction to get you support. How do they find us, Curtis?
Just our website, www.coloradosupport.com, or you can give us a phone call at 719-439-0599.
That's it. Just give us a call. And, we've mentioned our website a few times. Mm-hmm. Check us out on YouTube. I think we have over like 300 videos now on how to do basic tasks. We enjoy training people. We enjoy telling them what to do because really the basic things get confusing to people. We like to help them solve those issues just like we like to help you solve your Exchange outage issue. And so give us a call if we can help you out. And thank you for joining us. We're with you through this. I know it's a big struggle to make it through this. Hopefully Rackspace gets their end fixed very quickly. So anything I've missed, Curtis?
Nope, that's it. Yep.
Okay. And I'm going back to jury duty tomorrow. I've got sorry we're all in shadows. We had to do this in kind of in the dark and stuff. That's where it's been in jury duty all day long. So everybody have a great day. Good luck to you. And thanks for helping me out with this, Curtis.
Yep, no problem.